Alice Thimefield, my favorite rabbit girl. In this video, I'll be going over her kit, how to play her, my first impressions, her Mindscapes, her teams, and her equipment. I do want to mention this is on the Zenless Zone Zero creator beta server, so she's not out yet, but she will be soon. There's a lot to talk about, so let's just get straight into it. Alrighty. All right, here are her animations with the swimsuit on. And here are her animations without the swimsuit. And as you can see, she does scale off of AP as well as attack. Anomaly proficiency is more important, but attack is also really good to have. I'd say depending on like whatever W engine you're running, you could have around like 2,400 to like 3,000 attack and you'll probably be okay. Alice is kind of easy to use. For those that have played through the most recent story, you probably understand the basic concept of how she works. You basically gain a gauge and then use a charged basic attack, kind of like how Miyabi does the same thing if you ever played Miyabi, where she has a charged basic attack after capping. So Alice is very much a disorder type of character, meaning you should always run her in a disorder type comp. She basically can proc something called Polarized Assault, and the only way she can proc Polarized Assault is if she uses her charged basic attack. This is like the coolest thing about Alice. She doesn't actually need another character to proc Disorder. So I do recommend having another element to proc more Disorder, because you're not always going to have a charged basic attack on hand. The charged basic attack triggers Polarized Assault and then ignores the current anomaly build-up progress, and so it can be combined to trigger Disorder. And not only that, but when she triggers Assault, she actually has 25% more physical anomaly buildup. And with her team up bonus, she actually gains a lot of anomaly proficiency. And she also gains her charged basic attack at the start of battle, which is really nice. So the one thing I want to note about Alice's anomaly proficiency gain with her anomaly mastery is that without her W engine, you can only get 195. And with her W engine, you will be getting 255 because her W engine gives the wielder 60 anomaly mastery. And this is like a really big difference. I'll go into her W engine in a second, but doing the math, with 195 anomaly mastery, Alice gains 88 anomaly proficiency. But with her W engine, she gains 148 anomaly mastery, which is a lot. It's insane the difference with and without her W engine. And this is just a bonus from her team up bonus. And it's like a really big difference, I'm not gonna lie. Though if you're running something like Weaving Angel or some of the other W engines, you can also gain a lot of anomaly proficiency in other ways as well. Like Weaving Gemini, if you stack it 4 times, you get 192 anomaly proficiency, which kind of beats out how much you get from her signature W engine. But you don't have her other buffs, which are the anomaly mastery and then also her 40% physical damage. But yeah, that's kind of the rundown. A few things to note. Alice has 2 EX specials. One is Northern Cross, one is Southern Cross. You probably won't ever be using Northern Cross. You'll most likely be using Southern Cross more, as the damage multiplier is actually higher from Southern Cross. And I'll talk about the difference later. Other than that, you never want to use her charge basic attack unless you're at 3 bars. Yeah, she's pretty simple. I'll get into some like nuanced stuff here in a second after I go over her equipment. There's only really one option when you're running Alice. You run a 4-piece Fang Metal and then you run a 2-piece Phaethon's Melody. The reason you run Phaethon's Melody is for the 8% anomaly mastery, and then Fang Metal also boosts her physical damage and then also her additional damage when she has assault on the enemy. And something I want to tell you guys, Alice procs anomaly a lot. For Disc 4, obviously you're going to run anomaly proficiency, and for Disc 5, you can run physical damage. I do recommend physical damage over other options. You can run attack percentage or you can run pen ratio as well, but physical damage bonus is actually like 5% higher, I think, damage-wise, or something close to that. So if you have better substats for maybe like anomaly proficiency, I'd run one of those. But if you just have like a really good physical damage bonus set, I would run that for Disc 5. And then for Disc 6, you want to run Anomaly Mastery, as she scales off of Anomaly Mastery more than anything. When looking for substats, you can look for Anomaly Proficiency first and then attack percentage. And those that are going for M6 for some reason, you do want to run some crit damage on her. And the reason for that is that she actually has a guaranteed crit hit with one of her M6 skills. And I'll get into that later as well. But disregard that if you're just trying to run her as M0, which 99.99999% of us are. For W engines, obviously we talked about her signature W engine. It gives 60 anomaly mastery, and then when you inflict assault, it gives you 20% physical damage bonus times 2, so that's 40%. So you'll have 80% max physical damage bonus when you're running her signature W engine. If you're not, you'll have 40%. Other W engines you could run Grace's W engine. It's not a bad option. It gives you pen ratio plus anomaly proficiency. Gains W engine's good as well. And we talked about Weaving Gemini a little bit, but you can also run Weaving Gemini Gemini as the A rank option. And honestly, Weeping Gemini is probably the best option for free-to-play players. But if you do have Electro Lip Gloss, you can run that as well, as it's a little comparable to Weeping Gemini, but I think Weeping Gemini beats it out unless you somehow have an Overclock 5 Electro Lip Gloss. Yeah, not a lot of options. I'm a really big fan of Weeping Gemini. It's a store W engine. You can get it for free, and it's more than enough for anybody, honestly. Like, you can clear any content with Weeping Gemini only on all of your Anomaly characters. And for skills, by the way, I'll just flash this on screen because I do agree with what they suggest here. Your skill priority should be for your basic attack and then the core skill as well, and then her EX special and then her ultimate. Everything else is kind of meh, but those four 100% important, especially her basic attack, as that's the majority of where you're going to get your damage and Anomaly procs. So yeah, with that all the way, let's get into the combat section here. All right, and so I'm here with, I believe to be Alice's best team. I've had very good results with this composition. Not only that, but you can get both Alice and Yanagi in the next banner, so that's really nice. And if you have Yuzuha, you have her like very good best team, I'd say. You can run Vivian, you can run other options. I'll get into that later. Let's get into her combat section though. So in the top left, you can see that's her blade etiquette bar. And when it's maxed, as it is right now, you can hold your left click or your basic attack button, and it'll charge up all the way and use her charge basic attack, which is really cool. And she kind of wastes a rapier, but that's okay. And so the whole concept behind Alice is to get her charge basic attack so you can proc her polarized assault and also inflict disorder. So the best ways to actually build her blade etiquette is actually to use her EX special attack and also to use her dodge skills, as you get the most out of those. I talked about earlier with the Southern Cross and Northern Cross for her EX special as well. So her Northern Cross is lower damage, and it's just a charged attack that goes through the enemy like this, which isn't bad. But her other attack, the Southern Cross, is a conal attack with a dash through it. So it acts as both an AoE and then also a higher damage multiplier, which is really nice. Once you apply Assault to an enemy, you can actually unlock an enhanced basic attack at the end of your combo, but you can actually proc your enhanced basic attack if you use an EX special as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was her normal basic attack. So when I apply Physical Assault Anomaly onto the target, I can actually unlock the basic enhanced attack, and I'll show that off because it's going to be very close actually to proccing Assault. So if I proc Assault here, which I will, I'll actually do the enhanced basic attack here, which is a launch into the air. Like that. And it does more damage, obviously. But as you can see, when I use her EX special here, I'm going to gain about 1.5 bars from her EX special if you do the combo correctly. And the combo that I like to do is the Southern Cross into Enhanced Basic. And if you don't have Enhanced Basic, you just finish off your basic attack combo. But if you're able to trigger 2 EX special attacks, you'll have enough blade etiquette to use your charged basic attack. You can see there, it's about 1.5. And if I do it again, I'll be very close to the blade etiquette. There you go. It does take a few more basic attacks than normal, but as you can see, it's very, very close. And now that I have her enhanced basic attack, all I do is use it, right? Well, yes and no. So the thing about Alice's charged basic attack is that you can actually animation cancel Alice's charged attack and then go into someone like Yanagi, which is a quick swap. And so what happens is you'll trigger both polarized assault, and then also you will also trigger Shock Anomaly or Ether Anomaly or whatever you have on. In this case, you'll trigger a Shock Anomaly with Yanagi, and that's what I really like. This is why the Miyabi-Yanagi comp works so well. Alice is basically just Miyabi, but physical. Also, she just wasted another rapier. Are you serious? So I will use her basic attack here, and then you can see that once you charge her basic attack and it goes off, you can swap immediately into Yanagi, and that is what you call a quick swap. You can proc Disorder a lot. And the reason I like Yanagi a lot with Alice in the first place is that Yanagi is also another disorder type character. She can use a polarity disorder, and then Alice can also trigger a disorder on her own. So you just have like quadruple disorder whenever you want. So I also want to show off the rotation that I use off bat. I know I have infinite energy here and stuff like that, but let's pretend I didn't have infinite energy here. What I do is I use Yuzuha's EX special to trigger her special ability, and then I will quick assist into Alice here. And as I quick assist into Alice, I'll use her charge basic attack, then quick swap to Yanagi and use Yanagi's EX special to trigger disorder. And after I combo with Yanagi, I'll switch back into Yuzuha, and if she has another EX special, I will EX special into quick assist into Alice. And Alice should have about 2 EX specials, and Alice should gain back all of her blade etiquette to use her charge basic attack again. And so you just kind of rinse and repeat that. I show that here as the opening. EX special into a swap, into a charge basic attack here, into a swap into Yanagi, and then also charged. Once you're done, you go back into Yuzuha, rinse and repeat. charge basic attack into another EX special. Yeah, this comp is very powerful, and that's why I love it so much. Can run someone like Vivian as well, and with Vivian, it's a little different, I'd say, because you won't always have her EX special up, but you still do want to quick swap into someone like Vivian or like Yuzuha. Either way, I like to swap into your other Anomaly DPS when you're running compositions like this, so that your main support can give a quick assist to Alice, because quick assisting does give Blade Etiquette as well. So the combo with someone like Vivian or Bernice, I actually like Bernice with Alice. It's just that the damage isn't as good as Vivian, I'd say. Same concept arises though. You can EX special with Yuzuha into a quick assist, charge basic attack into a EX special attack with Vivian, and then swap back into Alice or Yuzuha here. And if you have enough, you EX special again into Alice, and then she will do a double enhanced EX special here. Do a Blade Etiquette, another swap. Now let's say you had someone like Miyabi. What do you do with Miyabi? It's the same thing. You quick swap into Miyabi. EX special, Alice, charge basic, swap, EX special. You can EX special twice if you have it. Charge basic attack, swap, same thing over and over. So the Miyabi comp is actually kind of weird, but it actually also works very well. You put damage with damage and you just get massive damage, you know? It procs disorder as well, which is really nice. And it's a composition that I think is really fun to run. Let's say you don't have Yuzuha, you can run Astra. Same concept kind of arises here. Swap into Bernice, and you actually charge her things while that goes off, and then swap back into Alice and then continue using her. You'll use Alice more on field with this composition, same with the Vivian composition. And I think that's where it kind of differs between using a quick swap like Yanagi or Miyabi and using an off-field anomaly like Vivian or Bernice. Anyway, let's get into some of the endgame fights, because I know you guys want to see her in some endgame. I'm going to go against Jane for one boss, and then I also go against someone else. Oh, also, as you guys know, there is a new Bang Boo that you should get if you have Yuzuha and Alice. It is very good for them, as it gives them either HP or it gives them energy. The fact that it gives you back energy is really nice. All right, but I'm going to go into the She defense against Jane. As you can see here, I'm going to be running a free-to-play W engine on Yuzuha, free-to-play W engine on Alice, and a free-to-play W engine on Yanagi. Here are their stats if you guys want to see it. Not the best. All right, and I do like to show off one Deadly Assault, as I like to use her in multiple different endgame contents. This is all still free to play. EX special with Yanagi, or not Yanagi, Yuzuha. And then charge basic attack into a Yanagi swap. Ow. But yeah, this comp is like really fun to use, I'm not gonna lie. I should get another charge basic attack here. I should have her ultimate. Yeah, there it is. Now, the beauty of this comp long term is that it does so much disorder damage that, like, it's actually good for long sustained fights. Also stun here. I'm gonna do a chain attack cancel with Alice. Back into Yanagi here. I will use her charged before I do anything else, just so I don't waste any late etiquette. Yeah, this comp is very powerful. You really don't even have to try. Another one. Nagi does have her ultimate, and Alice does too. So I should be doing a lot of damage here soon. Did not expect to step back, but that's okay. Oh, I did not dodge. But that's okay, because it does not matter. I do not car. $35K. That's pretty good, honestly. All right, I think it's time to talk about her teams. All right, and so this is her main team. On the top, you can see there's Yuzuha, Alice, and Yanagi. I really like this team as it's very much disorder orientated. Yanagi has a boost with her W engine and just her kit in general to actually boost disorder damage. And then Alice herself also boosts how much damage you do with her own polarized assault when she uses her charge basic attack. The synergy with this composition is out of this world. It's so good compared to like other options. But if you don't have Yanagi and you have someone like Miyabi, that can work too. If you don't have Yuzuha, you can use Astra as a replacement. It's not the end of the world. Other replacements for the support role in this type of composition, you can run someone like, you can run Lucy. Lucy's very good. You have someone like Bernice instead of Yanagi or Miyabi. That works too. So yeah, if you want to run Lucy and you have Bernice, this is also a good composition right here. If you don't have Yuzuha or Astra, or if you want to replace them with someone else, this is a really nice composition. If you have Caesar, you can also run Caesar here as well with this composition. If not, let's say you have Vivian instead of Bernice, it still kind of works. It's not terrible. I do like this composition, but maybe you can run something like Nicole. Nicole is also a good option here, as she is the best free-to-play support still. But yeah, you know, Lucy's good here. She won't get her team bonus, but that's not really an issue. Lucy or Nicole for your supportive options. You know, Bernice, Miyabi, Yanagi, literally any other Anomaly is fine here. You can even use Piper really, but I don't really think you should. As for Bangu options as well, if you run Vivian, you'll obviously want to use Robin. If you have Yuzuha and Alice, I do recommend using Miss Esme, as it's probably the 100% best option for them. If you're running a Sons of Caledon team with Bernice and Caesar or Lucy, you can run the Red and Mokus Bangu, which isn't bad as well. There's a lot of options really. Okay, so just to recap, these are all the teams that I recommend. You have the Astra, Vivian, Alice team. You can swap Astra for Yuzuha. Yanagi quick swap team, which is I think the best team. The Sons of Caledon team with Bernice and Lucy. You can switch Lucy with Caesar if you want to. The Miyabi quick swap team, it's the same concept as the Yanagi quick swap team. The What Am I Cooking team, which is just you use Piper with Alice. And then the Trust Me Bro team. Yeah, you probably think, why are you running Grace? I'm going to be real, I didn't think it would work, but it actually worked kind of well. She procs Disorder quite often, so it's not a bad option, but honestly, don't run it unless the boss is weak to Electric. That's all. A lot of these teams can be interchangeable with some characters, but your mileage will vary immensely by how much you actually know how to play the character. You can probably get a lot of value out of the Vivian comp more than the Yanagi comp if you don't know how to play Yanagi correctly or Vivian correctly. But yeah, a lot of the supports are interchangeable. A lot of the Anomaly DPSs are interchangeable as well, but Alice will be your main on-field Anomaly DPS. It's just how she was made. All right, and let's talk about her Mindscape Cinemas. So her M1, when Alice triggers a polarized assault, she gains 25 blade etiquette. When she triggers assault against an enemy, the target's defense is reduced by 20% for 30 seconds. Now, for those that weren't aware, 100 blade etiquette is 1 bar, and you need 300 blade etiquette to use her charge basic attack. So when you use her charge basic attack and it triggers a polarized assault, you gain 25%, or not 25%, you gain 25 blade etiquette, which is exactly a fourth of a bar. And then also the 20% defense reduction is super nice. So this is actually like a really good against bosses that you're going to take a long time to fight. So like Deadly Assault or a boss in Chi Defense. You'll be proccing Assault Anomaly almost constantly, so you'll always have this up. The fact that it lasts for 30 seconds is pretty good. It's actually really long. Onto M2, when you use her ultimate and the finishing move hits the enemy, it actually triggers a polarized assault. As I mentioned earlier, you can only use polarized assault when you use her charge basic attack, and then all squad members' assault damage is increased by 15%. Disorder damage against enemies suffering from physical anomaly increases by 15%, and upon entering battle, Alice immediately gains 1000 decibels. I feel like this is actually pretty tame. Team-wide 15% disorder damage butt is really nice, and then you also gain more decibels at the start, which means you get your ultimate faster. That's pretty cool. Having another polarized assault as well means that you can actually trigger disorder actually quite more often. Over a course of a 3-minute fight, let's say in Deadly Assault, this could be upwards of a 40% damage increase from her M0, which is really nice. Her M3 is just skill upgrades +2. For her M4, Alice ignores 10% of the target's physical res, and her enhanced basic attack, Overture, accumulates 25% more physical anomaly buildup. This is not the charge basic attack, this is the enhanced basic attack that you get when you apply Assault Anomaly onto the target. Having 10% physical res pen is also really nice. That means she just does more damage, and she actually accumulates Assault faster as well. M5, another skill upgrade, +2, that gets you to 16. And then to her M6, which is a lot. When Alice uses a third stage charge basic attack or ultimate, she enters a victory state for 30 seconds. During this time, whenever a squad member lands a hit on a target, Alice will follow up with an extra attack against the target, dealing physical damage equal to 3300 of her anomaly proficiency. This effect can trigger once every 1 second and is guaranteed to crit. This effect can trigger up to 6 times. Gaining the victory state again refreshes the available trigger count. And this is what I mean when I said earlier that you could build crit damage if you have her M6. Think about it like this. Anytime you trigger a polarized assault at M6, you'll gain a victory state. And so this is basically almost all the time as well. It'll be a constant buff that you will have on Alice, and it's just a permanent 3300% attack on the enemy whenever you hit the target. It does have a limitation of only being able to be used 6 times per victory state, but since it can be refreshed, you can actually do a rotation where you charge her basic attack, go into a quick swap like Yanagi, use Yanagi, and her victory state attack will be going off during that. Switch into your support, and then quick assist into Alice, and then use your ultimate, and you can get 6 more. This is like an insane increase to her damage. It's M6 for a reason, and I believe that you will be very happy to know that she will be doing over 200% more damage than she is at her M0. In my opinion, though, if you're going to be rolling for Alice, do get her W engine. Her W engine is very powerful. Compared to her A rank W engines and some of her other options, it's a significant upgrade. The fact that it gives her 60 Anomaly Mastery is really nice, and then a 40% physical damage increase. Like, it's made for her for a reason. Though, if you're going to go for her Mindscapes, her M1's pretty strong. Her M2 is very powerful. None of her Mindscapes are really needed, but they do increase her damage significantly. That's usually how the Mindscapes go. That's how it's kind of been, but her W engine is still much more worth it. Plus, you get a little glowy effect, which I think a lot of people like over, you know, having Mindscapes. And also, yeah, get her swimsuit. All right, and that does it for me. If you guys found this video helpful, or if you just like the video, consider subscribing. I love posting these videos and giving out information to people, as they love to know how the characters work beforehand. And if you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. I wish everyone luck in building their little rabbit girl. That's all for me. I'll talk to y'all later.